Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me for a quick staff training today. This shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. We're going to talk about something that honestly comes up every single day in our session, supporting kids during group activities in a way that actually builds independence. I made this staff training over a paper I wrote a little while back over what rights our clients have. So let's look at those rights that I wrote. All right, every client has the right to 1, competent education, 2, need for one-on-one support for group socialization and participation, and 3, access to community and resources. We'll be focusing on goal 2 and how this impacts goal 1 and 3, but they all connect. All right, why this training matters. Group play is where a lot of social skills either fall apart or get stronger. Some kids either avoid peers, some take over everything, some just don't know the rules. Our job is to be a support, not a crutch. The goal is that they are able to do these things one day when we are not around. What we do here builds the foundation for school success, and later it helps kids participate in things like library story time or community sports. So it's more than just playtime. Okay, so our training objectives for the day is, by the end of this training, you will be able to identify when and why one-on-one support is needed, determine appropriate prompting levels, implement effective fading strategies, and troubleshoot common group play challenges, and finally, understand how these practices support school and community success. All right, so what does one-on-one support actually look like? It's facilitating. We are not leading. This isn't about learning from us. It's hopefully learning from the peers. Modeling only when needed, letting peers guide the interaction, natural reinforcement, and preparing for real life generalization. So step 1, pre-group probing. Before you start a group activity, do a super quick check-in with your client. Can they follow game rules? Will they sit near peers? Do they need modeling, or can they imitate? This will start your prompt level, or set your prompt level. All right, step 2, implementing support. So when we step into a group activity, the goal is to facilitate, not run the show. It's really tempting to talk a lot or over-explain, but when we do that, we pull the attention away from the peers, which is the opposite of what we want. I try to stand slightly behind them, cue quietly, and let peers lead the pace of the game. All right. This is a big one. Prompt fading. All right, prompting is so easy. Fading is the key. It's the skill we need. Start with whatever the client needs, but fade quickly. We'll go from modeling, gesture, verbal, proximity to independence. A lot of us hold prompts too long because we don't want the client to struggle, but some productive struggle is part of learning. And here's where goal 1 comes in. When we fade well in the clinic, we can advocate that the school doesn't need a full-time para in school. We can get them to the point where they're more independent in other settings. All right, let's talk about common challenges. Peer avoidance is a big one. I'm sure we've all seen it. Over control and rigidity. You want your toys to do what they're gonna do, and you don't want someone else to tell you how to do it. Staff over prompting, which is we just looked over. The social overwhelm of it all, like that, all that stimulus and new and not knowing what to do. And difficult sharing or taking turns is all very common issues in this field that I see with clients. All right, and if it'll let me. All right, there we go. All right, so solutions and troubleshooting. If a child avoids peers, start with parallel play. If they're controlling, reinforce flexibility. If they're prompt dependent, give them more wait time than feels natural. Peer conflict is normal. We don't need to shy away from it. Stay neutral, narrate calmly, coach both kids quietly. All right, so the best practices. We're gonna let peers lead when possible, every chance we can, because that is the goal. Peers learning from their peers. Reinforce attempts immediately. If the child is looking at you more than their peers, you're prompting too much. Think of yourself as a support, not the co-player. And when these skills improve here, they transfer to community setting. That's goal 3. All right, pop quiz. First one. When should you prompt fade? What is a sign you're overshadowing the interaction? Name a way group skills relate to success in school or the community. Okay, let's keep going. So let's connect it to the other goals. So goal 1, competent education. Our clinical data supports IEP decisions. So everything we do here, everything we learn about the kids will have the potential to be translated into their IEP and how much support they really receive in school. So it's important to be honest with where they're at, but also we want to get them to the point where they can be as independent as they can be in the school setting. And also prompt fading, the para fading, this will also come into play in the paraprofessional relationship that they have at school. And goal 3, community inclusion. Skills practiced here will translate into the ability to do them in the community. They can join group sports. They can maybe do some musical or go to the library and take a class. Independence equals dignity and access. Their world opens up the more that they are independent. All right, so let's talk about summary and takeaway. Group activities are where our kids learn flexibility, cooperation, and how to be a part of something social. How we support and how we fade makes a huge difference in their independence. If you ever want feedback or want me to pop into a group or to model something, just ask. I'm always happy to coach in real time. All right, and I'd also like to just take some time to review some of the other resources I have. I have some handouts and a packet that I'd love for you to look over, as well as a checklist that can help you kind of see what you need to be doing each day. So thank you so much for being here and taking this course. Have a great rest of your day.